Hey everybody, it's the Bulldog, Mr. Metalhead Warrior NY. How you guys doing? And listen, I know I've been out a little bit. I took some time off. So basically, this is my first video of 2025. What I'm gonna do is talk about some of my favorite albums of 2024. I know I was supposed to do this a couple weeks ago, but I just want to take some time off, just to relax a little bit and start fresh. So I'm gonna get into it. Hope you guys like it. Always, like I say, feel free, drop a comment in the comment box, and we'll take it from there. One of the first ones I want to talk about is Hail of Bullets. This came out originally in '07. Like when they first came around. Um, I've been a big fan of these guys. Um, Going Records reissued this. When it first came out, it was only available in indie. Um, there is talk about them coming back and putting on the record, which I'm hoping. I've been a big fan of these guys. Divine Winds, um, Frost and War, um, their 2000, excuse me, 2013 release, uh, three Rommel Chronicles. If you guys don't know, this is basically an offshoot of Pestilence, like a side project. Um, if if you like Siege of Power, Exit, Asphyx, uh, Pestilence, Benediction, definitely. Basically, this is um, Martin from Asphyx and Pestilence, and I forgot his other side project that he did for a little bit. That's who Hail Bullets is. Um, been around for a little, for a while, and they broke up. I think it was like 13ish in that range. Um, but they get back together. Um, Talk is about them doing is coming back with a new record, so we'll see. But I like this EP. Like I said, it came out in '07. It was like a real rough draft of it in '07. It was only available on like indie labels. Like I said, uh, came out of Going Records. So if you guys remember these guys, pick this up. Like I said, it's if you like Pestilence, definitely check it out. Um, I wish Pestilence would have done a better album this year. I didn't really care for the new Pestilence, as like as the a lot of people didn't really care for him. Um, I know a lot of people say about the AI with them, which I've said it in the past. I don't like AI, especially for bands. You know, with with the album covers and the art and everything. I just think you know AI doesn't belong in music. AI does not belong in metal. Period. I know a few bands have dabbed into it, and it is what it is. But I don't like it one bit. So next one, I want to talk about. Ben, I talked about um, prior streams. Necroblade. It came out. Go Throne Records. Death Awaits. Um, Strong death metal, heavy record is their debut. I've been spinning this since I first got it. I absolutely love this record. I would love to see what these guys do going forward. It's just a very heavy record. This band needs to get signed by a big label. Again, Goat Throne Records, Necroblade, Death Awaits. Check these guys out. Please check them out. One and the next one is debut by a band called Vicious Blade. Um, a friend of mine on here and on Instagram, uh, Steve S&T Young, was talking about these guys, and he told me get it. It's an absolute great record. Um, you got some you got some death metal here. You got some thrash, some crust, some there's even some like doomy parts to it. Um, if you like Carcass, Master, Atrophy, um, even Asphyx, along that line, definitely check these guys out. Vicious Blades, uh, Relentless Force. This came out on Redefining Darkness Records. Definitely one of my favorite records of 2024. Definitely one of my favorites. Check them out. Another band that I've been talking about a lot, and they do know I'm coming out. That just came out. You check on their Bandcamp. Piss on Christ. Straight up death metal blasphemy. A little bit of black metal in there, but it's just straight up hateful death metal. This is their Rejoice in Blasphemy release from 2024. My favorite album by them is Storm the Vatican. They do have a new album that just came out. It's on their Bandcamp. I know they've having issues with getting them out or something like that from the distributor or whatever. So you can check them out on here, also on Instagram, and check out their Bandcamp. They're on there. The new one is called hold on, Seventh Blasphemous Slab. It's out now. Check on their Bandcamp. I didn't get it yet. I do have it on my iTunes. I will be getting it as with a few other things, but definitely check this band out. Severely underrated, overlooked, strong, powerful, heavy death metal. If you like Deicide, Morbid Angel type, Master for that matter, definitely check these guys out. Definitely. This one's Rejoice in Blasphemy. This is, I think it was self-produced. Yeah, but definitely Piss on Christ. Definitely check them out. All right, these next three, I was gonna wait to do this because I'm gonna do a stream separate with these guys, with all three of these albums and bands and guys and label and distributor. Um, Warhammer 666. Ram it up, you poop the cunt. Everybody knows Lee from Warhammer 666. One man project. Originally from Australia, lives now here in Jersey. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how an Australian ends up in Jersey, especially Jersey of all places. I know I bust his chops all about. I bust his chops all the time about it. Love you, Lee. Check him out. Lee's an absolute genius, all the way around. Musician, person, is cool dude. Um, it is out on Formian Productions right now. Yeah, right there. Um, Old school black metal, no filter, no overproduction. It's just straight in your face how it should be. Um, that old razor blade type sound that I love. The vocals that he does is just tremendous. He has been releasing some singles that are coming out in 2025, which I'll talk about later on in the stream that I'm gonna be doing. Um, with Forming Productions. It's a label distributor that's coming up. I think they're going hot. 25th, 26th, whatever day Australian day is, that's when they go hot. So it'll be 26th for them, 25th for us here. I'll be talking about that in another stream. I'm doing a full in-depth thing about them. I'm hoping to work with them, get on some streams with them. Support the indie labels. Support the indie labels. Also got the tape right here. This is number 6 of 19. I like the sound of the tape. It has that nice old school classic analog sound that I actually love, especially on a tape. Definitely pick it up. Warhammer 666. Pick it up. Another one is Kai. Tales from the Land of Fire. Another genius. Paul, one man project again. Black metal, death metal mix. I think it's a death metal with some black metal mixed in. There's some thrashy parts to it also. Another one who I think is an absolute must to get. You get a one man project. Hawaiian death metal. Another that came from Hawaii to, I think, Nebraska, which you get a guy coming from Australia to Jersey, and you get a guy coming from Hawaii to Nebraska. So, yeah, awesome. Both bands are actually amazing. I've been spinning this in the Warhammer 666 since I first got them and heard them on here. Cool dudes, cool guys. Again, Forming Productions. Again, I'll be talking about them a lot coming up. Um, Check them out. Up and coming. Support the indie labels. Support the indie labels. Another one. Everybody knows about this guy. Revik is an absolute nutcase. Mordant Red. Eat Pussy for Satan. One of my favorite releases. Um, this one came out on Go Throne Records. Um, it's, it's some other stuff on his Bandcamp. You can check him out on Bandcamp. Check him out on here. Check him out on Instagram. He's always putting up crazy things. Um, can't go wrong with it. I tell everybody they're like a cross between Mentors meets G.J. Allen. You got some death metal, some black metal, some war metal thrown in for good measure. It's just a violent, gnarly, offensive record, and I love it. Uh, Underground Rape Cult, The Man Who Fucked Life, Eat Pussy for Satan 2. My favorite song, Circle of Iron. My Hatred Burns. I Killed 3 People with a Crowbar, which is a catchy tune. Definitely pick this up if you haven't. Again, these 3 right here. Kai, Warhammer 666. Oops, upside down. Mordant Red. Pick these guys up, please. Support the indie labels. Support the unsigned bands. Get these guys known. Get them out there. All right. Now, next ones I'm talking about are some of my favorite big releases of 2024. There were some albums that were absolutely great. Some that were comeback records that I kept talking about and spinning. There's some that came out where I was just on the fence about. So, but the ones I'm talking about that I want to talk about are the ones that are some of my favorite of 2024. I know a lot of people had their different, lists and everything, which I think is awesome. I saw a lot of different lists. Because I was supposed to do this like 2 weeks ago. I took some time off. But let me get into it. I had to write things down, or else I was going to forget them. One of my first ones, band from Sweden, has been around for a little bit. Paganizer. Flesh Requiem. This came out on Transcending Obscurity Records. Another label that's been putting out some massive stuff this year, or 2024. And when I saw from them this year, they'll be putting out some big stuff too. This is their 12th record overall, I believe. One, 2 of my favorites, Land of Weeping Souls, which came out in 17, and Into the Catacombs, which came out in 2011. Incidentally, they put out a live album also in 2024. I'm trying to get my hands on it. That typical Swedish sound, but heavier. Melodic death metal, got some doom thrown in. Just some heavy songs. Definitely one of my favorites of 2024. This is one of the ones that kept getting pushed back. Why, I don't know. So I waited for it to come because I wanted to put it in there. Because like I told everybody, I'll get these on my iTunes, listen to them, and 99.9% of the time, I'm getting the master of it. I'm not the type of person to, if I know I'm going to get something, I'll wait to get it to talk about it. Which I know a lot of people, that's my dog. A lot of people say, you shouldn't do that. It's against the rules to have things like that. once I get it, it's off my iTunes. You know, you want to listen to stuff before you pick it up. That's how I do things, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. But definitely Paganizer, uh, Flesh Requiem, Transcending Obscurity, one of my favorite 2024. Oh, I got just maneuvering. Another one set in horror. Uh, in in service in service of the dead. Straight up death metal. Got some gore in there. A little bit of grind. Um, is the fourth overall. Um, last one came out in 2022, I believe it was. Just a hard album, heavy album. You know, has that old school death metal sound. Like I said, some some gore, some grind parts mixed in there. Just a great record all the way around from these guys. And past few albums, have been great by them. So definitely, if you haven't yet, pick these guys up. Another one of my favorite um, death grind, a little gore. The new Pathology absolutely blew me away. Absolute. If you know Pathology, you know what I'm talking about with these guys. It's just extremely heavy record, pounding. You got your blast beats, you got your chugs. It's just a heavy gore grind death metal album all the way around. I don't know when it came out on uh, Agonia Records. Definitely Unholy Descent. Pick these guys up. Another one, yeah, like I said, I have it all written down in the order that I have it, which I always do, so I don't skip over anything. One of my favorite that came out earlier this year, and it's been constantly spinning. Um, the new Severe Torture, torn from the jaws of death. It came out on Season of Mist Records. If you know about Severe Torture, it's just a neck breaking record, hard hitting record. Um, it's like they're six over, I believe it was. My favorite one by them was one of my favorite until now. Came out I think it was 2010. The release, I think it was Slaughtered. Um, it's a great pounding death metal record. Some gore mixed in with them. They've these guys have been doing it for a while, and they're still putting out great, great death metal. Hard hitting record, heavy record. Definitely check this one out. Severe Torture, torn from the jaws of death. Another band that took me a little bit to get into, but I absolutely love their record. Departure Chandelier, um, Satan Soldiers of Fortune. Uh, they're originally from Canada, but now they're in right here in New York. Um, Atmospheric black metal, hard hitting black metal. Um, some chanting in there. It's some thrashy parts in this, some doomy parts at times also. Um, it's an all around great record by these guys. The one before this was good. And this one just took the cake for me. Top to bottom, not a bad track, not a skip track. It's not one of those black metal albums that you do that where everything sounds the same. You know, the songs are well put in here. It's just like I said, all around just great cultic black metal record. So definitely check them out. Partial Chandelier. This came out on Nuclear War Now Productions record label. Definitely check them out. Next one needs no introduction. The new Neck Rot record. Absolutely blew me away. Blew me away. Lifeless Birth. This came out on Tank Crimes Records, and these guys, in my opinion, have not put out a bad record since they first came on the scene. Um, Death metal gore. If you like Broken Hope, Cannibal Corpse, um, Carcass, even definitely check these guys out if you haven't already, which I'm sure you guys have. Necrot, Lifeless Birth, check them out. Another one that I've been listening to, um, Skeletal Remains, um, Fragments of the Ageless. This came out on Central Media. It's typical pounding death metal, hard death metal. Um, One of my favorites by them came out in 15. Uh, Condemned to Misery, I think it was 15. I put this album right up there with them. Absolutely blistering album, top to bottom. And you get your typical blast beats. Um, Definitely, if you guys haven't yet, which I'm sure everybody has, check these guys out. You know, they're still doing it, and they've been around for a while now. You know, they're still putting out persistent, good, hard hitting death metal records. You know, I've been saying that for a while. You know, it seems like every year for the past, I'll say, 5, 6, maybe 7 years now, death metal has just been trucking along, putting out bands coming in, putting out great albums. Some other bands coming back, putting out records. Um, Masters, I don't know. Massacre's new record came out. I'm still on the fence about the new Massacre. Um, Anybody has uh, a new Massacre Resolution? Um, it's not a real bad record. I think the record is extended out way too far. There's a total of 17 tracks on that record. With I think there's like 3 or 4 interludes between songs. I don't know if they made it that way so it just blends in with the songs, but it's not a bad record by any stretch. I should have grabbed it. I have it over there, but I think it just it goes on too much. They could have probably cut it down, but then again, I've been Massacre fan since I first heard it back in the '90s. Um, Good record, that hard hitting Florida death metal, but like I said, it could have been queued back just a little bit. It's a very long record, but definitely check them out. It Massacre's a new one. Definitely check it out. One of the next ones, I was waiting for this album to drop. I gotta get my notes, guys. Hold on. I know I'm in order with them. I know that there's been a lot of black metal releases this year, a lot of thrash, death metal, even some war metal that I've been listening to. One of the bands I think has been persistent since they first started this, you know, back in the mid '80s. The new Flotsam and Jetsam is absolutely amazing record. I Am the Weapon. Um, the vocals on this are just superb. It's hard, it's heavy, it's fast on. There's some melodic parts in here, some great breakdowns. Um, I can't say nothing about Flotsam and Jetsam. I've been a fan of these guys forever, and they're still putting out great thrash metal, old school thrash metal, speed metal records. Top to bottom, there's not a bad track on this record. Top to bottom. Um, they're also talking about doing. I've been hearing rumors of a live DVD/CD from them coming up. I'm hoping. Um, Definitely, if you guys haven't yet checked this release out from Flotsam and Jetsam, I think it's one of their best records in the past. Probably, probably, probably the past 6 releases. Um, I know everybody, still talks about um their older stuff, No Place for Disgrace, which I think is a great album, absolute legendary record by them, legendary. Um, Dreams of Death is another record by them, which I think people overlook. Um, Blood in the Water, their last one, I think was a great record. And then you had and the Chaos, what was that 19? I think it was. I got it behind me over here. Um, that wasn't a bad record at all. I think one of my one of my favorite records by Flotsam, um, the 2010 release, The Cold. That was a very personable record, um, very dark record, in my opinion. That record alone didn't have a bad track. I would put that record and this new record up in their top 10. I mean, I know people like the Quattro from '94, which I don't, or '92, '93, whatever it was. I think Quattro, I think propelled them more because they got the airplay back then. Whereas before their albums, you know, um, they didn't really get the airplay as much as they did, as much as they should back then. Um, Definitely, if you guys haven't, check this record out. Very good thrash, old school thrash, speed metal. Again, it's these bands from the '80s that are still putting out these records that are still doing it. Now, they've been around since '84. I think it was '85. It was you know it's just monumental records by them. Heavy records. They're touring. I saw them a couple times live, and they're still great live. Perfect live. So definitely check them out. Another one. Speaking of old school thrash bands, I've talked about these guys when I first saw this album was coming out, 2024. I made sure I grabbed it. The New Nazi Savage, Jeopardy Room, heavy record, old school thrash. There's not a bad track on this record, top to bottom. I think Ronnie's vocals on this are some of his best. Um, I think I would put this right up there with Penetration Point, with Indulgence, which Indulgence is my favorite record by them of all time. Even um, at what's that? Abstract Reality, that record, um, which is Sabbath, with another great record by them. It's just classic old school thrash metal, speed metal that these guys have been doing it, putting out quality records, it's just staying under the radar. Just doing their craft. You know, Great record. Like I said, it's not a bad track, top to bottom, on this. Um, I forgot which song it was. The guys from Obituary um, are on a track. I forgot which song it was though. It's gonna bug me now. But it just came out on FHMN Records. You can check them out on here. You can check them out on Instagram. I think on Facebook also. And check their Bandcamp too. But definitely check these guys out. This album needs to be heard. And like I said, much like Flotsam and Jetsam, they're still putting out absolute great records. I mean, both of them were in that period in the '80s, you know, where they were overshadowed a lot because of the Big Four. Um, and then Jason Newsted got noticed because of him being in Metallica. You had all these people thinking, that he's new. Yeah, remind people, no, he was in Flotsam and Jetsam way before he was in Metallica. So, uh, also, speaking of Jason Newsted, he's coming back with a new record, either the end of this year or start of 2026. He said he feels better. I know he had an issue with his neck, like sort of what I have with the disc and everything, and that was just from years of him doing his windmill headbang. So he's coming back with a new record. His first one, Newstead, the self-titled, I think that was a great record that he put out. You know, so definitely check out check out the Nasty Savage. Check out the new Flotsam and Jetsam. You need to. Next one, man, I just absolutely love. The last album blew me away. Uh, Rot Pit. Long Live the Rot. This came out on War Anthem Records. Uh, it's just a nasty, dirty, dingy death metal grind album. The guys are from originally from Sweden. I think they're recording now in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. This is their second full length. Um, their first one, um, Let There Be Rot. Yeah, I know. When I first saw this one, I had to do a double take on the title of the record because I thought it was the same as their 23 release. If you have their 23 release, you'll know what I'm talking about with this guys. Like I said, it's just a punishing, gurgling, brash death metal record to the point. A little bit of grind thrown in, some gore. Um, Definitely is one band again. I would love to see what they do going forward. It was right there. I would love to see what they do going forward. Um, Again, long live the Rot Pit. It's a War Anthem Records. So my best of 2024, without a doubt. I'm getting tingled up here. Hold on, I'm lost. Another one that I think a lot of people talking about this record. I heard a lot of buzz about this guys. Brodequin, um, brutal death metal, grind thrown in, um, just straight up heavy. This is what I think they're. Oh God, I want to say they're fifth or sixth. If I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that. Might be a little bit less. Um, One of my favorite records by them came out I think 2000. Instrument of Torture I think it was in 2000. I'm pretty sure it was that. And oh, if I remember the other one, it came out 506. I remember the name. Festival Festival of Death, I think it's called. I got it over there somewhere. Actually, behind me, over here, right about there. I think it is, like, right above my head. Um, Came out on the Season of Mist, Harbinger of Woe. When I first heard this was coming out, I quickly went to the iTunes where they have like the sample of it, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be classic Brodequin. Gotta get it. It's a heavy record all the way around by these guys. You know, another band that hasn't put out a bad record. Period. Um, this was tough with this one because I wanted to put it down lower, but with me, I don't have. I don't do my top 20s, or my top records of the year in any type of order. I know a lot of people do that. Like they'll do a top 30 and they'll do 30 down to 20, and then you know 20 down to one, or something like that, where those were their favorites. For me, it's albums that, yeah, they're favorites top for me, but it's more of what I kept listening to, what I kept spinning, how many times I listened to it. You know, like I said, most of these never were put up. They were either on my stereo here, or on my desk, or my cabinet right here. So I was just spinning those constantly between other things that were coming out and older stuff. So definitely check them out. It's absolute brutal death metal. Brodequin, Harbinger Harbinger of Woe. It came out on Season of Mist Records. Another label that's been putting out monster stuff for the past 3, 4, 5 years now, and they got some great stuff coming out this year. So definitely check them out. Next one that I've been a fan of these guys since I first heard them. A Finnish band from Finland, Cryptic Hatred, Internal Torment, just Finnish death metal. It's just a punishing album, top to bottom, heavy record. This came out on Time to Kill Records. And also, it says, I think it's Kick. Yeah, Kick Door Records, definitely Time to Kill Records. Monster record by these guys. Um, Another one that just, you know, a lot of people were like, talking about these guys. And then when I first got it, I just kept on spinning it. So definitely, Cryptic Hatred, In- Infernal Torment. Check them out. Next one, like I said, I was supposed to do this a couple weeks back, but there was albums I wanted to talk about and show that were for some reason got delayed in the mail. Um, I think Lee from Warhammer 666. He sent me uh, a shirt. Mind you, I'm in New York. Lee's in Jersey. It took me 3 weeks just to get that. I was like, it sat in customs, or no, I think that was the taping the CD. It was taping the CD. That sat in customs down in Queens for 2 weeks. I could have gone down to Queens, shown my ID, and got it. And he lives right here. It's like, wow, you know. But getting back to this, Eternal, Cryptic Lust, another one. It's on Carbonized Records. Um, it's a death metal, thrashy, some melodic. It's just a heavy all around record. Doomy parts to it. Um, they have two other EPs out. Um, just a really heavy band all the way around. It's just an album that you could just play and play and play. It's called Cryptic Lust. Another band I can't, talk about enough. Just just the pure heaviness of things that they put out. Um, I was just listening to this earlier while I was getting everything together. I was playing this, but definitely check them out. Eternal, Cryptic Lust came out on Carbonized Records. Pick this guy's up if you. Like I said, I know it's like 2 weeks after I was gonna do it. I know a lot of people have done their list already, and people have talked about it. About getting the records. I'm sure a lot of these I'm talking about, a lot of people have already, which is fine. I'm just putting out for other people that might be unfamiliar with a lot of things that came out, especially the indie labels like the Warhammer 666, Kai, Mordred Red, the Rot Pit, the Necroblade, definitely, uh, Paganizer for that matter. You know, I know, I know I know a lot of people, you know, are into certain type of music or well metal, in certain genres. But if they hear something, who knows, they might pick it up, So definitely pick it up. Next one that absolutely blew my mind. Abra Melon, Sins of the Father. Absolutely gut wrenching death metal gore grind. Um, One of the most heaviest records this year. Um, the artwork alone, I mean, comes in a nice slipcase. The artwork alone on this is just, you know, in your face, real. Another reason why I said about AI. I know a lot of bands are using it. Deicide, Pestilence, a few others. I don't think AI belongs in metal. Let the artists do their work. You know, before AI, bands were putting out insane, record covers, both front, back, and inside. You know, um, this band, this album came out on Hammerheart Records. Evermelon, yeah. Sins of the Father, just a gut punch record, heavy record, in your face, nonstop, top to bottom, just brutal, absolutely brutal. Some of my favorite songs on some of my favorite songs on this record, the title track, uh, Shell of a Man, Meet the Meat, Street Art, um, You Bleed, I Feed. It's just nasty, you know, anti-Christian. you just, just the title alone knows, when you hear the title alone, Sins of the Father, I think you know what they're going at with this record, and it's a brutal, lasting record. Definitely top to bottom, not a bad track. So check these guys out. Next one, uh, straight up progressive death, some black metal thrown in vain. Solomon. This came out a while back. Like I think it was like mid 2024, if I'm not mistaken. Another one that I just continued to spin. Um, just straight to the point. Great record. No filler at all. Top to bottom. Straight up. Just that progressive black metal sound to them. It just sounds good. Great record. Definitely check them out. In vain. Solemn. One of my favorite ones, I think, of the entire year. The new Crypt sermon. Stygian Rose. Um, death metal, some doom, death doom sound to them. Just came on Dark Descent Records. Another one I was playing nonstop for a while. Just the heaviness of this record, top to bottom, is not a bad track. Really, really not. I think this year, or well, 2024 releases were just top to bottom. There was a lot of just straight up heavy, heavy records that came out in 2024. When it was death metal, it was death grind, doomy death, thrash, some hardcore too. Um, some bands that came back. I know I'm missing, like I said, there's a bunch of records that I didn't include here, but I talked about throughout the year. The new My Dying Bride, the new Opeth. I know a lot of people about that record, are on the fence about it. I'll talk about that in a minute. I got that separate from a couple things, but definitely Crypt Sermon, Stygian Rose came out. Dark Descent Records, great death doom. Pick these guys up. Another one, Destructor, this is their third full length. Um, Black and death metal, some pagan thrown in there. Some war metal, thrown in for for good measure. Came out. House Headbangers Records, another label that's putting out absolute great stuff. Last year and this year, they got some stuff coming out. You're right there. Another band that, in my opinion, never disappoints. Um, check it out. In Indomitable Destructor, Hell's Headbangers, very heavy record. Like that darkened death metal, um, that blackened death metal type feels, war metal thrown in, and even some paganism thrown in. Definitely check them out. Another one I've been spinning. Actually, I was spinning this and the Eternal the past 2 3 days. Um, Another one, Pentagram Chili, just black and thrash metal, almost like a crossover feel with these guys. This is their second release. They have a bunch of comps and I think like 1 or 2 box sets that they put out. I know I'm missing like one thing by them. Um, Another album that I wasn't too familiar with when it came out. Everybody was telling me you gotta pick it up, and I'm glad I did. Eternal Life of Madness is the title of it. Came out on Listenable Records. Another band I can't wait to see going forward what they do. It's a heavy record, dirty, dingy record. It has that classic, you know, dark and thrash death metal sound. Like I said, there's some crossover to it also. You can hear it. Just a dirty record, a great record, but dirty, absolute gnarly record. So definitely check these guys out. Another one that I was planning on waiting for it to come out, the new Nightingales record, Shadow Reapers, came out on um, Apathy Records. Melodic death metal, some atmospheric in it. The vocals are top notch in my opinion. One of my favorites by them, uh, Nail Work. I would put this up with that one. Five Scars is another one by them. Um, their 23 release, I think it was. Got it over there. Black Stream, I think it was called, or something like that. Another great record. Um, Top to bottom, one of the great records of 2024. It's a This record you can just put on and spin it over and over again. That's how good it is. I mean, I was blown away by it, but I sort of expected from them. Um, Being a fan of them since the beginning. Definitely, if you haven't yet, Nightingales, Shadow Reaper, check it out. Another one that I had to go back a couple albums on these guys. Ulcerate, cutting the throat of God. Um, just a violent record to the point. Um, te- Technical death metal. Um, Melodic. Um, uh, Technical death metal. Melodic at times. Avant-garde in a way. Um, the guys are from I want to say New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. Just a heavy record. Um, I wrote this down because I was trying to remember the album names that got me into them. Um, their Destroy of All record came out in 13, I think it was. That was like one of the first times I heard them. I had to go back a couple. Absolute amazing record, amazing band. It's like their seventh release, I believe. I know I'm missing like 2 of their things. Um, just amazing record. Again, one of the best records of my opinion. One of my favorite records of 2024. Put it at that, that way. Um, Ulcerate, Cut in the Throat of God. Pick it up if you haven't already. Like I said, I'm doing this 2 weeks after I wanted to. I remember telling people I was going to do it like the 28th of December or like that first week of January because I knew I had some stuff coming that I wanted to talk about. And I just took some time off after the New Year and everything, to get my head straight with everything. But I got a couple more I want to talk about. I've been praising this band since the very, very beginning. I told them on here. I told them on Instagram, Facebook. I told everybody about these guys. Carnal Savagery. Old school death metal with some grind mixed in. I've been a fan of these guys since I very first heard them. Oh my God. Their stuff right behind me. Top to bottom, these guys have not put out a bad record. Classic classic old school death metal with some gore thrown in for good measure. Top to bottom, no filler on this record whatsoever. Easily one of my favorite death metal releases of 2024, hands down. Their 22 release, Son of Death, another great record. Um, their their Phoenix Macabre record is like some of my favorite material by them, hands down. Swedish death metal, in your face. Like I said, I can't stand up for those guys. I've been a big fan of these guys since day one. Old school death metal. If you haven't yet, please check these guys out. I mean, there's, you know, you get so much death metal, throughout the years from bands that are putting out continuous records. You get bands that, you know, stand the test of time. With them, if you like Broken Hope, Cannibal Corpse, Rotting Christ, along that line, even the Rotten, Necrophagia, Necrophagus for that matter. Check them out. Straight up death metal, some gore, just throwing it for good measure. There's even some grindy parts in there, but they haven't put out a bad record in my opinion. Pick it up. I got a couple more. Laceration, Aya Road, came out on a $20 spin. Another absolute great record. The other one came out in 21. I think it was Demise. I think it's called that. I got it over there somewhere up top there. Um, heavy record. Death metal. Mixed with some thrash and some doom, all blended into one. It's just a phenomenal record. Top to bottom, there's not a bad track on this record. There you go, right there. Laceration, Aya Road. It came out $20 spin. This came out a little bit mid to like end. Another one I ordered with the Eternal, and it took forever to get here. Why, I don't know. Could have been because I think I had a couple pre-orders mixed in with some things, but I waited for these guys to come. Like I said, I was listening to them on my iTunes and on YouTube, and I was like, I'm waiting for it to come before I talk about them. But definitely, Laceration, Aya Road. Pick this album up if you haven't. Next one, New Conqueror. Sad Plight of Lucifer. This came out on Hammerheart Records. Death metal, dark and thrash metal. Just a heavy record, top to bottom. The first song they pay homage to Slayer. Right off the bat, you can hear it. Which they've done in the past with a lot of their records. They've paid homage to many of their bands that they've been influenced by. I still say Without the Week, which came out in '97, is one of my favorite records by them. Then was it 93 Spit or Swallow record? Another great record. These guys have impressed me from day one, and they're still doing it. Definitely check it out. Conqueror. Sad Plight. Sad Plight of Lucifer. Another heavy record. This is one of the ones I was waiting for that kept getting pushed back in the mail and whatever. So definitely check these guys out. All right. The next few I want to talk about, they made my list, but they didn't, if that makes any sense. The Opeth, The Last Will and Testament. I know a lot of people are up in the air on this record, as am I. I'm glad they brought back the death metal vocals. The dark, sounding growls. And don't get me wrong, the clean vocals are phenomenal on this record. I like them. I like the guitar work. It's a return to form for them. I always said you could put them, Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride, November's Doom, Insomnium. Some of the best bands that have, the the melodic sound to them, the doomy sound to them, you know the the slight gothicness to them. It's not a real bad record by any stretch. I've said this before about them. Um, I know I talked to a lot of people about this record too. The same thing, on the fence, but you know, but for them to come back, you know, do I want them to go back to Hearse or Orchid? Yes. You know, um, but for them to come back, you know, to bring back that classic old school, the Opeth sound that made them Opeth. I think it's great. Again, I'm glad they brought back the death metal aspects, the dark growls of them. The guitar work is perfect. Like, it's melodic, it's heavy, some speed even thrown in there at a few times. Um, it's a great record. It's a great concept record. Um, I watched the DVD that came with it. It's them, but I'm on the fence about it. Like I said, it's not a real bad record by any stretch. I think it's a really good record. You know, um, it took me a while to really get into it. I was, you know, listening to their older stuff. But definitely check out the new Opeth. Um, definitely check it out. You have to though. Last Will and Testament is it not a real bad record. I know a lot of people are back and forth with it. That's what I've been doing. I've been listening to it, put it down. Listening to it, put it down. But it's Opeth. I've been Opeth fan since I first heard them. So definitely, it's up there. It's up there in my favorite records of 2024. If I would have done probably a top 50 or 60, you know, but definitely check it out. I got a few more I want to talk about. New Dagger, Fall, great record. It's my opinion. It's one of their best records. This came out on Century Media. Um, I know I've been a fan of these guys since God their debut. Um, I like the heaviness, the melodic of it. Um, the vocals are absolutely, I think, great. Um, Definitely check them out. The Fall, it's a classic record by them. I think it is definitely one of my favorite melodic records of the year, hands down. Definitely check it out. Got I got two more guys. Cause my girl's calling me for dinner. New Molder, Catastrophic Reconfiguration. This came out on Prosthetic. Heavy record. What do you call it? Slam deathcore, death grind, whatever you want to call it. It's just all the way around heavy record, top to bottom. That's all I gotta say. Another one that I was just cranking when I first got it. Definitely check it out. Come on, Prosthetic, Molder. One of the ones I've been going teetering back and forth with again is the new Nails. Every bridge burning. It's typical Nails. It's heavy records. It's personal one. It's in your face. It smacks you around a couple times, and it keeps you coming back. There's no breaks on any of these tracks. They just keep getting harder, heavier, faster on this record. It's definitely one of my favorite of 2024. It's come out on Nuclear Blast. Next two, I want to talk about the new Undeath. Nothing left to say about these guys. Came out, it's a More Insane. Another one that came out on Prosthetic. Heavy death metal, in your face, smack you around. Again, I'm I'm with them. They're from New York, so whenever I have a heavy band such as them, death metal coming out of New York, I'm all for it. I mean, the amount of bands that have come out of New York, Jersey, Connecticut that have set the bar and tone for you know music over the past 20, 25, 30 years now, whether it's incantation, mortician, um, suffocation, um, brutality, malevolent creation. You know, Cannibal Corpse. Yes, Cannibal Corpse is from New York originally, from Buffalo, upstate. I know everybody says, "Oh, no, they're from Florida." They started off in New York, in Buffalo, before they went down to join the whole Florida death metal scene. So definitely, right? So getting back to the death, I know people have their different thoughts about them. I think it's a great band, great death metal record. More Insane came on a prosthetic. I got one more that I want to talk about, and I gotta call it a night. I gotta eat some dinner. Earthburner, Permanent Dawn, top to bottom, great record. In Your Face, I've talked about them before. Um, I said they'll probably be in my top. They didn't make. Like I said, I can't. I don't like doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's the albums that stuck with me that I couldn't put down and kept going back to them and playing them over and over again. But definitely, Earthburner is came out on M30 audio and Riffs of the Rose. Definitely check them out. Permanent Dawn, heavy album, death thrash, melodic. You can do some crossover on this record. It's just all around really, really solid record. So definitely check them out. Well, thank you guys. Like I said, I've been working on this. I was supposed to do it a couple weeks ago. I got wrapped up with stuff. Um, I will be doing a special stream for um, 4Man Productions. I will be talking about Warhammer 666, Kai, uh, Hornet Red, and a bunch of other bands that are going to be on this label and distributor. They're going hot, I believe, next week. Whatever day Australian Day is here. I think it's the 26th for them and the 25th for the U.S. Um, they're coming out with a compilation of bands that are going to be on there. I think Revik and Drucifer are doing a collab on that. Also, Drucifer's band Infuriator, you're going to have a track on there. Kai's on there, Warhammer 666. Inebriated Winds, which is another one-man black metal project from Australia. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you heard it on YouTube. The demo is absolutely gnarly. It's nasty. It's old school, unapologetic, gurgling black metal. That's all I could say. Mixed in with probably some harsh death metal. You can't really compare them to anybody. If you know what I'm talking about, they're on YouTube. Check them out. But for now, let me get going. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. 2025, I got some things planned. Going forward, there's going to be a month coming up where I'm not going to be on at all. I'm going to be shutting things down, packing up stuff. I'm going to be moving about an hour south of here. I'll be like 15 minutes from the city, which where we wanted to be in the first place. Anyway, that has my address. I'll shoot you a new one, whether through email or on here or whatever. I know I talked to a lot of guys on Instagram. So I want to thank everybody. Stay hard, stay metal, stay brutal. Keep waving that flag. Support the indie labels. Support the smaller bands. Support the unsigned bands. Foreman Productions, Warhammer 666, Kai, Mordant Red, Rot Pit, Pentagram. Check out the new Flotsam. Check out the new Nasty Savage records. New Earthburner, Undeath, Necrowitch, who I forgot about, Nails, Necroblade also. Check these independent guys out. Go Throne Records. Check them out. Hell's Headbangers, $20 spin. Check them out. Again, this is the Bulldog. Stay hard, stay heavy. And as the Bulldog always says, if you're going to do something, make it count. I'm out.